Welcome, guys, to the Almighty Lair, where we talk about hot sports topics, everything from football, basketball, boxing, UFC, WWE. Um, Follow and subscribe on all of my major platforms: YouTube, Twitter, X, um, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. All of them are at the Almighty Lair. All of them. Don't forget to hit the notifications so you stay up to date with all my daily topics. I'm Almighty Fenrir, and let's go ahead and dive into today's topics. What's going on? What's going on? Glad for you to join the stream. Um, yeah, let's go ahead and jump into our first team. And then our first team is the Washington Commanders at Green Bay. So, we'll look at the stats. Commanders, Jaden Daniels, 24 for 42, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. Austin Eckler, 8 for 17. Zach Ertz, 6 for 64, a touchdown. Terry McLaurin, 5 for 48. Debo, 7 for 44 in a touchdown. And Packers, Jordan Love's 19 of 31, 292 and 2 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs, 23, 84 and touchdown. And Tucker Kraft, 6 for 124, 20-yard average, and a touchdown. And yeah. So the things that I picked up in this game, the things that I picked up in this game for the Commander side, Daniels needs help on offense. Running back's not explosive. The lack of the pass rush in the Commanders. Yeah, Daniels needs help on offense. If you've watched him play, it looks like he's doing it by himself almost. When I seen Austin Eckler going to that team, I always thought Austin Eckler should have been a third down back for that team. Meaning that, he will play he'll do his part as a third down back, pass catching, pass blocking. Like, that's his thing. I'll never take that away from him. But man, he is not good. I promise you, he is not. He is not good, especially what you want this team to be. Like, he's not a home run hitter. And even if he was in a day, which he really wasn't, he definitely isn't now. And I think he's injured now, but he needs help. Terry McLaurin was supposed to be the receiver that he grows with. And so far, Terry McLaurin has gotten paid. And even after getting paid, he is not doing what Daniels needs. And as good as I think Debo is a good gadget player. Debo is not that receiver that is going to, he's not that receiver that's going to, give you, crisp and precise routes running. That's just not him, and I think that because of that, you've kind of limited the offense, because if Terry McLaurin's not open, who you go to? And because there's no real running game outside of maybe Daniels, who even though can run the ball, he looks to pass first. So he looks to pass, and there's nobody open because, like I said, Scary Terry is not the receiver that he was last year. And we were all banking that he was going to be that guy this year, and he has not been. He got paid, and where is he? So it's a shame because a lot had a lot of high hopes for this team, considering where they were at last year, and hopefully hoping that they would kind of get back to that, and it has not happened. So they definitely need another receiver. Like I said, I believe Noah Brown is on this team, and Noah did absolutely nothing. And if we want to be completely honest, Noah Brown has been nothing for this offense. So Zach Ertz, I mean, he's doing what he can, but we all know Zach Ertz is on borrowed time. And yeah, I just don't see anything from him at this point in time. So, you know, and then, like I said, the lack of pass rush for the Commanders. At one point in time, Sweat, Payne, Allen, and Chase Young was all on this D-line. And could be argued that they had the best D-line in football. Sweat is now with the Bears. Payne is still on the team. Allen, I believe, is on the Vikings, and Chase is on the Saints. The pass rush is just non-existent. So, I don't know. In the draft, you guys got to look for some guys. But as far as what's on the roster right now, it's not there. There's no push at all. On the Packers side, Kraft is playing like a top 5 tight end, and I could easily say top 3 because the old guard is kind of leaving. Hawkinson, Kittle, Kelsey, those guys are gone, and now you got Brock Bowers and Porter, and you got Kraft. You know, those are the young guys that are in now. So even though I say top 5, he could easily be top 3. He's playing great football right now, and he's looking very good out there. I ain't gonna even lie. He's playing good football. Last week he had a very good game. This game he puts, his fingerprints on this game. 124 at tight end, only 6 catches. That's crazy. Guys out here getting open, running great routes. And like I said, should probably, if he keeps playing the way he's playing, he'll be looking at his first bid to the Pro Bowl this year. So dude's playing lights out. You can tell the game has slowed down for Love. That is another hot topic that I, put down from what I've seen. That the game has slowed down for Love. A lot of, and it's crazy because we're at a point in time where we look back at that Love trade. Not the Love trade, but that Love draft pick, and we say, man, why would you go pick him up? We got Aaron Rodgers. Why don't you give him another piece? Aaron Rodgers is still our guy. Why don't you go get another piece and stuff like that? And we have forgotten that this is the way people used to draft. But now we live in such a football world where our quarterback must come in immediately and play. But if you ever watch football back in the day, they would have their main guy, and then the draft will come. They'll get the heir apparent. He'll sit back for 2 to 3 years, then he'll come in. You know what I'm saying? That is how Aaron Rodgers got done because he was behind Brett, and that's just the way people did back then. And then we started seeing quarterbacks playing a lot earlier, and there's so many quarterbacks going down. It's because we've put them in a position to play right away, and they weren't ready. Let them sit back, let them watch a pro get ready, how he prepares himself, how he leads the team, how he commands the team, how he gets ready for games, what you see off the sideline that you could probably implement when you start playing. There's a lot to be learned from the sideline. There's a lot to be learned as the backup that'll eventually get the starting gig. And when you watch him out there, Love is just playing pitch and catch. The line is blocking for him. and the wide receivers, who at one point people were saying, hey, man, these aren't dominant receivers, but they're getting open. And the same can be said for the Seahawks when they had the Legion of Boom. They had a great defense. They had a quarterback that could move around and would not throw the ball, would not, turn the ball over. And the running game. If you look at the Packers, they kind of molded in the same way. Good defense, good running game, and a quarterback that can move around and is not going to turn the ball over. If the Packers keep playing the way they're playing, they will be representing the NFC to play in the Super Bowl. And the next thing that I put on here was the Packers are the most complete team in football. Now, the only team that I could say could rival them would be the Eagles and the Ravens. And while the Ravens have like a Pro Bowler at each level, it's like, okay, so except corner, where it's like you have a Pro Bowler at safety, but the other guy's probably like a C right now, because Starks, I think, will be up there. But then you look at linebacker and you got, Roquan Smith, and then who's the other linebacker? I don't know. Then you got the D tackle. I forgot what his name is. Matabuke, right? But then who else is on the D line? You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't know nobody else. You got, Matabuke, but then nobody else. And I think that's what separates the Packers, because that guy might be good, but they got another guy. Like if one guy's an A, the other guy's a B. You know what I'm saying? First is an A, and then like a C. You know what I'm saying? And then the Eagles will probably be the only team that like got multiple positions that are like A's and A's, like tackles is an A and an A, and then the receiver is like an A and an A, and the running back is an A, but then on the defense, that D line, Carter, A. And everybody else is kind of falling by the wayside. Now, linebacker, you got Bond, right? And then you look at him and you go, okay, well, who else is with Bond? And then you be like, and then at corner and safety, Mitchell is good, DeJean is good, but then it's like their safeties, who are they? And, so I think like the Packers have the most complete team. And like I said, I kind of see them probably playing for the Lombardi Trophy this year. Next game is the Giants and the Cowboys. Stats for the Giants: Russell Wilson, 30 for 41, 450, 3 touchdowns, 1 to enter. Scatterable, 11 for 45, or 4.1 average touchdown. Tracy, 3 for 15. Malik Neighbors, 9 for 167, 2 touchdowns. Wandale Robinson, 8 for 142 and a touchdown. And Slayton, 2 for 61. Cowboys, on the other hand, Dak, 38 for 52, 361, 2 touchdowns, 1 enter. Javonte Williams, 18 for 97 and a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb, 9 for 112, 12-yard average. Jake Ferguson, 9 for 78. Pickens, 5 for 68 and a touchdown. Kevontae Turpin, 4 for 47 and a touchdown. My immediate notes for the Cowboys is 14 for 160 in penalties. You're not going to win in the NFL with 14 penalties over 160 yards. You're not going to win in this league. That left tackle for the Giants, what's his name? I'm about to find his name right now. Because what he did in that game you're already not a good team. You're already not a good team. But for you to sit out there and get 4 in a row off bonehead, I'm looking at him right now, James Hudson. You've been in the league for 4 years now, but you are making boneheaded, I'm not going to say mistakes. A mistake is something you do once. You're making bonehead decisions, and you've been in this league for 4 years, and you played and acted like a rookie. You are not a rookie. You're 26. You've been in the league for 4 years since you were 22, and yet and still, you acted like an immature child. And putting yourself first before the team. So, and honestly, he's not worth it because he's the same age as Andrew Thomas, who is their left tackle. And honestly, he's not worth it. He's just not worth it. So me personally, I'd get rid of him because I could find that from the production that he's giving, I could find that in the younger person. Because what he did mentally wise for a team that already doesn't have a lot of talent, or not a lot of talent, a team that doesn't really have any hopes of winning too much this year. And in a game against the Cowboys that you guys could have won, to hamper your team like that, it's selfish. Selfish. So yeah, 14 for 160 is not good. Russell Wilson, not Russell Wilson's fault. He did have an interception in overtime, but was pressured. And you got to think about it. If the interception was in overtime, that means that bro had 3 touchdowns and no inners in that game. If you throw for 300 and 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, no inners, you should win that game. So if you think that Dart can come in and do what Russell Wilson just did, you are sadly mistaken. Because he cannot. Not right now. Again, I think this is one of the situations where your quarterback sits back, he learns from a pro like Russell Wilson, learns, watches, because if you're telling that man to go out there and replicate what Russell Wilson did or what he has, not going to happen. And also, when you play a younger quarterback faster than he's supposed to, you can mess up his confidence. Because every first rounder comes in with the thought, even if you tell him not to, he comes in with the thought like, hey, they picked me in the first round. That means I'm supposed to be an immediate contributor. I'm supposed to help my team. The franchise picked me because they believe that I'm either the piece or the missing piece in our offense or defense to turn this franchise around. And when you go in as a quarterback and you got all the pieces around you and you start doing bad, it's just in their nature to be like, damn, am I good enough? Like, am I good enough to play this game? Am I bad? Have I thought that I was so good for so long and then I play in this game and I'm just out of my element? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Jackson Dart, I feel like he's in a good position to just sit back, learn, and allow himself to watch a pro play this game because he'll have decades of playing time. But what he needs to do is learn, because playing right away and staying in the NFL for 10 plus years is 2 different things. There's lots of people who started right away and played about 2 to 3 years and were out the NFL. Forget going to another team. They were out of the NFL. So I want Dart to be the quarterback for the Giants the way Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback for the Chiefs, because anytime you have a young quarterback that plays well, football is in good hands with the young quarterbacks because you see the future is bright for your team, for that player. So I would love to see Jackson Dart do well. I think he has a style and aura that would be great for the Giants. But if you don't allow him to get in at the right time and allow him to sit and learn, you can get out there and you can do more damage than you are helping him. So, and then the last thing, two more things. So Neighbors and Robinson, they go off, of course. Neighbors, 9 for 167, 2 touchdowns. Wan'Dale Robinson, 142. Both of them go off. Young guys, again, I believe that, those young guys with Dart, you guys could have, little young thing going on right there and could possibly be a problem for the NFC for years to come. Malik is already one of the top receivers in football, but Wan'Dale can be the Higgins to Jamar Chase. You know what I'm saying? They can both go out there and go crazy out there. You know what I'm saying? So they have that potential. You have your number one guy within Malik Neighbors and Jamar Chase, and you have that second guy who's still good within Wan'Dale Robinson and T. Higgins. You guys could have something. So yeah, they both play good football. And like I said, by seeing how they got the ball to Malik and Wan'Dale and was able to spread the ball around and stuff like that, I think this one, it was not Russ Wilson's fault at all. But the last thing I'll say is Scatterbo needs to start. There's no reason why he shouldn't start. And I think that Scatterbo has a skill set that reminds me of Frank Gore. He's not gonna, outrun anybody like Frank Gore. Both of them are not guys that just really outrun people. But what they do is they have good vision. And they will put their face mask in your face mask. And that sets a tone because the Giants don't have an identity right now, especially on the offense. There is no identity. And I think that when you have these young players who are able to help kind of sow the seeds of what their offense can be, I think Scatterbo is one of those guys that can help with that. And I think that, like I said, he's one of them teammates that you would hate to play against but want to play with. And I think that his skill set will bring an edge to the Giants. I think that and that's what they need. So yeah, if Scatterbo is not starting, he needs to start. Tyrone Tracy can spell him. Devon Singletary can spell him, but Scatterbo needs to start. He already 11 for 45 off 4.1 average. Means that, you know what I'm saying, if he gets more touches, he could be at 100 yards. You know what I'm saying? So he needs to be running the ball for at least 20 times a game. And like I said, set that identity, set that tone for the game, for the season, for the team. He needs to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like Jacobs. They used to play for the team, for the Giants. Run through everybody's face mask and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like he would run on, surprisingly so, he would run away from people too. But he set the tone. Like it's gonna be a long day, me and you, long day. So I think that he, Scatterbo needs to be the lead back. He definitely needs to be the lead back. For the Cowboys, 12 for 106 in penalties. You guys didn't do that much better. Like I said, you're not going to win in this league with penalties. And the fact that you guys won in overtime, 37-40 against the Giants, It's not looking good for you guys at all. Historically speaking, Dak likes to beat up on teams that are not as good as him. And that leads me into my first. Dak is Dak. You know what I'm saying? Like, he played well. 361, 2 touchdowns, 1 inner. He played well, but at the end of the day, it's Dak. He's gonna play very good against these trash teams, make it to the playoffs, and then suck in the playoffs. That's just what Dak does. So but it looks even worse now because he went against the New York Giants in overtime, 37-40. Not looking good, and it's so funny that the Cowboys got rid of Michael Parsons because they need to be better at the run. But now that Parsons is gone, you need help against the pass. I don't think anybody would have seen, if you asked anybody what the score would be against Dallas and New York, no one would say they were going to overtime and the score would be 40-37. So that pass rush is non-existent with Dallas, which is so funny that the whole reason why you got rid of him, Micah, was to strengthen the run, but now they're just passing on you. Anybody could have seen that coming. CD is great, and Pickens has entered the chat. Pickens had such a quiet game last week that he's finally, 5 for 68 and touchdown, gets into the end zone this game. CD last game, I don't think CD scored last game. Don't think CD scored last game, but I think even last game against the Eagles, yeah, like almost the same exact thing. Like, he goes for 110 yards the game before, and then he gets 112 this game, but he's still not getting in the end zone. So, hopefully he finds his way in the end zone because he's putting up yards, but he's not getting in the end zone. So, hopefully that works out. Javonte gives the ground game life. The ground game has kind of stifled ever since Ezekiel Elliott. So, everybody been talking about the passing game, and, with CD and Pickens and, everybody else that ever like that. But the main thing was a run game. But if you don't have a run game and all you do is pass, they'll just sit back and, But, Javonte, make them respect the run game. 18, 97, 5.4 average and a touchdown. That's very respectable. Almost 100 yards and over 5 yards to carry. So, Guy did his thing tremendously. So, he gave the ground game some life. Aubrey saves the day. Made tons of game-changing kicks. Even won them the game. So he definitely should get some praise. But the last thing I seen and noticed is something that, could be controversial if you are a Cowboys fan. But Diggs is awful and overrated. If anybody thought that Diggs was an elite corner, you need to be drug tested. Bro gives up so much yards and touchdowns just to hope to get one interception. I'm sorry. If you give up multiple touchdowns and lots of yards and you may get 8 interception, you've lost even with the interception. And that's the kind of corner he is. And that's why it was crazy that he gets, first teams and all pros and Pro Bowls. Like, yeah, interceptions are great, but at the same time, it's like, are you going to shut anybody down? Are you going to stop that wide receiver from getting his? Because on your clock, 2 receivers went over 100 yards. You know what I'm saying? And you are around a lot of the touchdowns and yards being, you know what I'm saying? So it's like he's so overrated to me. And there's more overrated people that I'm going to be discussing on this, week 2. But Diggs is so overrated. And I don't know why y'all paid him, because he had one okay season years ago. And I say okay because, yeah, he might have caught 10 inners, but bro gave up over 1,000 yards in coverage. That is the equivalent of Jameis Winston throwing 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns, and 50 interceptions. No one's talking about Jameis Winston as one of the elite quarterbacks in football, because when you throw for 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns, but also 50 interceptions, you took 3 steps forward and took 3 steps back. You are in the same position, you know what I'm saying? If not 3 steps forward or 4 steps back. But I know for a fact there was not a forward step taken in a positive direction because of the 50 interceptions. So you over here getting 10 interceptions, but giving 1,000 yards in coverage, they're canceling each other out. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Cowboys win the game, but at the end of the day, no one's surprised. But if anybody's surprised over anything, it's the fact that you guys, when it gets a team that you guys should have blew out and literally was a field goal away from losing the game. Next game is the Steelers and Seahawks. Sam Darnold, 22 for 33, 295, 2 touchdowns, 2 inners. Kenneth Walker, the third, 13 for 105, 8.1 average in a touchdown. Jackson Smith and Jimba, 8 for 103. Cooper Kupp, 7 for 90. And Torrey Horton, 2 for 32 and a touchdown. And then you also have one at the bottom, 2 for 26 and a touchdown for A.J. Bartner. For the Steelers side, Aaron Rodgers, 18 for 33, 203, 1 touchdown, 2 inners. Jalen Warren, 14 for 48, 3.4 average per carry. And then Jalen Warren leads the team in reception. Yards, 4 for 86. Pat Freiermuth, 3 for 31, and DK Metcalf, 3 for 20 and 1 touchdown. The immediately things that I thought about in this game is, for the Seahawks, Walker awakens the run game. Last game, the running game was not that good, but he bounces back for 105 and 8.1 average and a touchdown. Sorry. Pretty good. Sam Darnold bouncing back after week 1 again. He didn't have one of the best games in week 1. Comes back and plays a decent game. Almost 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. 2 interceptions that need to be cleaned up. But again, for Sam Darnold, he had a very good bounce back game. Vintage Cooper Kupp. Last game again. Cooper Kupp. It was almost at a point where I looked at that game last week and was like, man, is this over for Cooper Kupp? Like, he doesn't look the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's his best days with the Rams behind him, and he goes for 90 yards and 7 catches, almost 100 yards. So this is definitely a bounce back game. This is vintage Cooper Kupp. If he can continue being the receiver that he was for the Rams, or even the receiver that he was for this game, the Seahawks should have a lot more winning to do this year. And then Jackson having an excellent start to the season. Last game, I believe he went over 100 yards. This game, he goes over 100 yards. Let's just make sure. The thing about me is I want to give you guys the correct stats and everything. So yeah. Yeah, so first game, he goes over 100 yards. This game, he goes for 100 yards. So, yeah. Playing good football. he's having an excellent start. So he keeps playing the way he's playing. He'll be in that in a lot of people's top tens this year as well. And for the Rams, not for the Rams, for the Steelers, Jalen Ramsey keeps making plays, interceptions, tackles to seal the game. Jalen Ramsey, if he's not in your top 4 or 5 in DBs, he is reminding you that he should be, because he's just making plays. Warren is a solid back, but not a good back. Again, just looking at his numbers and the impact that he has on the offense. I mean, he had 14 for 43 off 3.4 yards per average. But then he catches the ball 4 for 86. And I think Jalen Warren is a running back that, he can help on both sides, whether it's catching the ball or running the ball. But as far as being one of those guys that really just makes you guys like fill the holes of, of the run game and stuff, he's not that, So I think that a lot of people thought that because the Steelers were putting together this like Avengers like team, that they were going to be good, and you got to understand, especially on offense, they have to be able to jail, and DK Metcalf 3 for 20. I kind of already knew this was going to happen, because DK, for all the athleticism that he has and the freak and the strength and all of that stuff, he is a one-trick pony. He's going to run deep. He's going to do a post, maybe a fade, but that's it. When you look at DK, he does not run the tree. And with Aaron Rodgers, he's used to having people that could run the tree, whether that's Cobb, whether that's Jennings, whether that's Driver, whether that's, Jordy Nelson, whether that's Devontae Adams, whether that's Garrett Wilson. Like, these are guys that can run the whole tree. And DK, even being a physical specimen and a Pro Bowler and this, that, and the third, I think that him and Aaron Rodgers are not going to mesh well, because they have two different styles that do not mesh together. Aaron Rodgers is a dot thrower. You know what I'm saying? He works off, timing and getting yourself open and route running, whereas DK is more about 50-50s. And, so I didn't think it was going to be that good of a mesh. I didn't think it was going to be that good, because you had one Pickens and you basically traded him for another Pickens. This Pickens is a lot, probably faster, stronger, bigger. But at the end of the day, I think they're the same receiver. 50-50 balls, go routes. That's about it. Really doesn't run the route tree. And then the kickoff blunder that gives the ball and gives the Seattle easy points. How do you not know the rules of the game? How do you not know that if I touch the ball in the end zone at a kickoff, that ball is live? Have you guys not played Madden and like the guy kicks the ball off, and then for some reason that your guy doesn't catch the ball, and then the ball runs to the end zone? You got to go touch that. You got to go get the ball. Get the ball and run it out of bounds if you need to. But the fact of the matter is that if I kick the ball off, whether you touch it or not, if I recover that ball, it's my ball now. How you guys not know this? We just play video games for a living. We just play football. Y'all actually are in the real games, and y'all don't understand the rules. And that's a touchdown less that the Seahawks would have, which would have given you guys a chance to play the game differently to win the game. But You gotta use your brains out there, man. That's unexcusable for you not to know the rules of the game. Inexcusable. Next game is the Rams and the Titans. Rams, Matthew Stafford, 23 for 33, 298, 2 touchdowns, an interception. Kyron Williams, 17 for 66. Puka, 1 for 45, 1 touchdown. Blake Corum, nice 1-2 punch with Kyron Williams, 5 for 44, 8.8 yards, and a touchdown. Devontae, 6 for 106, and a touchdown. Puka goes 8 for 91. Titans, Cam goes for 19 to 33, 175, 1 touchdown. Pollard, 20 for 92, 4.6 average. Calvin Ridley, 3 for 57. Van Jefferson, 2 for 10. Tyler Lockett, 2 for 9. All right. Immediate thoughts. Matt is Matt. Like I said about Dak, Matt is one of them quarterbacks that are, you know what you're going to get from him. A pro's pro, does everything the right way, studies hard before games to know what the defense likes to do, and Super Bowl champion. So I can't really say too much about Matt that already hasn't been said about him. But again, he's just a pro's pro and makes the right plays at the right time. Devontae is playing like a top 5 receiver. There was a lot of people that took Devontae out of the top 5. Because he's playing with the Raiders, because he's playing with the Jets. And he's reminding you guys, you put me with another receiver that actually is, play some complementary football. You give me a quarterback that can throw it where it needs to be thrown, a Super Bowl champion. Hey, I can be that old Davante Adams. And right now, Davante Adams is playing like a top 5 receiver. Guy is playing very good football. Puka can beat you in so many ways. Wide receiver and rushing like a running back. Puka almost has 100 yards receiving, 8 for 91, but then he goes on the ground, rushes the ball like a running back, runs a 45-yard touchdown. And I think I said it before in a video before this. Davante Adams and Puka are probably the scariest duo in football. Some people would say like Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and they are very tough to beat. But they are 2 different receivers. You know what I'm saying? Like one is the vertical threat, one's the 50-50 guy, one's the can throw me a screen and I'll probably go for a touchdown. The other guy is that just throw it up, I'll catch it type guy. But with Puka and with Devontae is they're both great route runners with great feet and great hands. And I think that combination where you basically got the 2 same receivers and basically can play anywhere on the offense, whether it's on the outside, whether it's the slot, just because they understand the game and they understand where you should and should not be at this time. Very, very, very good coming from both those guys. And like I said before, I think playing with those 2 is definitely a treat. For the Titans side, I just say, Ward, keep building week after week. I know you didn't have too much to look at this game and be like, oh, yeah, like this was good. Like not too many of that, but just keep your head up. I've been watching him play, and he is the unequivocal leader of that team, not just because he plays quarterback, but because his head is always high, his head is never down. He plays with with the level of swag and like leadership that you need for your quarterback, especially your number 1 pick, number 1 draft, number 1 overall, needs to have if he wants to turn this franchise around. Tony Pollard, 20 for 92. Again, a good game. But what's really hurting this team is the receivers. And, people used to always say that, when you are a receiver and you go to the Tennessee Titans, that's almost like the elephant graveyard. Like, this is where receivers go for their careers to die. And you look at Calvin Ridley, 3 for 57, Van Jefferson, 2 for 10, Tyler Lockett, 2 for 9. Like, if you want to win the game in the NFL, if you want to win these games, you got to be better. You got to be better, which leads me into my next point. Calvin Ridley has failed Ward as the wide receiver 1. When Ward came to this team and you seen that they got him Ridley and you got him, Lockett. Sorry. You got him those 2 guys. Even though nobody was sitting there saying, oh, yeah, like these are future Pro Bowlers. No, no one was talking like that. But at the same time, we thought that, okay, game by game, these guys will help him out immensely in the passing game. Even if they don't win every game, it'll build his confidence up knowing that he can complete the ball to these receivers and they'll be in competitive games. Nope, not happening. Like I said, Tyler Lockett, 2 for 9. He didn't play good last game, I believe, also. And Calvin, like I said, he's supposed to be your number 1 guy. But you over here dropping passes, you over here not catching nothing, not getting open. So yeah, Calvin Ridley has definitely failed as the receiver 1, and it's sad because people were looking up for him to be that guy for Ward, and it just has not happened. Bills and Jets, next game. Josh Allen, 14 for 25, 148. James Cook, 21 for 30, 132, 6.3 average, 2 touchdowns. Josh Palmer leads the team, 2 catches for 47 yards. And then on the Jets, I don't know why I'm yawning so much. Justin Fields, 3 for 11, 27 yards. I believe he gets injured in this game. 5 for 49 rushing. Brees Hall, 10 for 29 off 2.9. And Braylon Allen, 2 for 11. Receiving wise, you got Garrett Wilson, 4 for 50. And then that's a big drop off after that. So first things that I seen was James Cook's play on his name. Like I said, he took over running the game, running the ball. 132 off 2 touchdowns. He had a very, very good productive day. And Allen hits open receivers. When your running game is going so well and the running game just is there, your quarterback doesn't need to throw for 250, 275, 300, 350. He doesn't need to do that. The running game is killing so much, and they're controlling the clock and everything like that. So you can look at this game and say, man, Josh Allen did nothing. Well, he didn't have to because James Cook ran for 132 off 6.3 averages, which means even if it's not a touchdown, it's a first down with two touchdowns. So, yes, this was the James Cook show. And, Allen didn't have to do too much because the running game was just on. For the Jet side, Fields with the concussion, he went 3 for 11, 27 yards. That's not going to cut it. Whether he was injured or not, 3 for 11 is not going to win you any football games in this league. And the running game was nowhere to be found. The passing game was nowhere to be found. I say that because you would think this offense needs to be tailored around the running game. Like, there's games that Tim Tebow probably threw the ball 5 or 7 times in the whole game. But they have the number 1 rushing offense, and they beat a prolific playoff team. And I think that's what the Jets need to do. I think that Fields needs to maybe throw the ball 7 to 10 times the whole game. They need to run the ball so much. You could probably say that was probably what they were trying to do, but at the end of the day, I believe outside of the quarterbacks running the ball 10, 2, they only ran the ball 12 times. This ball needs to be ran 25 times. If they got to split it, you know what I'm saying? 25 to 30 times this ball needs to be ran just by the running backs. That's not even including Justin Fields. So this offense, they need to go take notes from Tim Tebow when he played for the Bucks. I mean, for Broncos, they need to take notes from, Army, Navy, Georgia Tech, anybody who runs these intricate offenses that runs the ball very well. They need to get a hold of them. Whoever was, RG3 and how they ran the ball effectively. And then even somebody like Terrell Pryor when he played for the Raiders and they had this diamond formation and then he was able to run well. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all need to go find these tapes, talk to these people, and that's what y'all offense needs to be. A very run heavy, but even though it's run heavy, it's an offense that, the look makes you think like the ball could be going here or it could be going there. And then when they start thinking too much, you could pass out of a lot of stuff like that, like that full house also offense. So much you could do with it, shifting into this, shifting into that. But, I think that's what I would do. Patriots in Miami, which will be a terrible game for me to talk about because the Dolphins is my favorite team. But nevertheless, there's things that I would do, and I will talk about it in a second. But Drake May, 19 for 23, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns. Ramondre Stevenson, 11 for 54, 4.9 average. Drake May also puts another 10 for 31 and a touchdown on the ground. Monday Stevenson again, 5 for 86, 17.6. Also Hooper, 3 for 38, 12.7. And Stephon Diggs, 4 for 32. Offensively wise for the Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa, 26 for 32, 315, 2 touchdowns, 1 inner. Devon Achane, 11 for 30, 2.7. And then Tyreek Hill, 6 for 109. Achane, 92 for 11, off 11.5 average and a touchdown. Jalen Waddle, 68 and a touchdown. These are what I immediately started looking at. For the Patriots, Drake May is becoming the quarterback the Patriots envisioned him to be. He is starting to take that next step, and right before our eyes, he's becoming the quarterback that they envisioned him to be. Yeah, he didn't throw for 300 yards or everything like that, but at the end of the day, I'll take a game where he's damn near perfect, 19 for 23, 230, 2 touchdowns and no inners. I'll take that all day. Not to mention he runs for 31 yards and runs on the ground as well. So at the end of the day, the man has 3 touchdowns in his name. So I would take that all day. Stevenson had a great game. He ran for 54 yards off 4.9 average, and then he goes through the air 5 for 38. And this is the guy that a lot of people thought that Trayvon Henderson would have his spot. But, he's pushing the young guy back because, 51 yards, 54 yards, 4.9 average, and then, 5 for 40, for 88. He definitely put his footprints all on this game. Fingerprints, footprints. He put on this whole game was Stevenson was somewhere around the ball. And then for the Miami Dolphins, I put play calling or execution. Which one is it? Which one is messing up? Is it the play calling? Is the play calling messed up? Or is it the execution? It's not really the play that was messed up. It's the execution. They're not executing. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, it's probably a little bit of both. No one looks like they want to be there right now. And the play calling, I think the league is caught up to what you want to do with Tyreek Hill and with Waddle, and it's kind of stifled the team. So now you have an offense that is really, really predictable, and they just say, okay, we'll just protect deep, and we'll just keep everything in front of us. And when you do that, again, your offense becomes very, very predictable. And it's so weird that, just a year or two ago, there was so many wrinkles to this offense where Tyreek was running behind a line of scrimmage before the snap, and he was running this way and running this way, and now he doesn't look like he wants to be there. And I love me some Tyreek Hill, but he just doesn't look like he wants to be there. And Tua, like I said, he sucks, which brings me to my next topic. Tua sucks. The running game sucks. The O-line sucks. I remember when some people like Armstead was on the team that kind of fortified the left side, but even when we got him, I kind of knew he was on borrowed time just because I knew he was an older player. And since him, we've done nothing for this O-line. This O-line is garbage. The running game is terrible. When your O-line sucks, your running game is going to suck too. Unless you got like some, Barry Sanders type guy back there where he basically don't need a line, the team is going to do terrible. And we just don't have a running game. And then, like I said, Tua sucks. There's nothing about Tua that why did we pay him? Why did we pay Tua? Bro had one good year. He's injury prone. He gets injured every year, even dating back to college. Bro is one hit away from throwing up West Side all the time, bro. And we're paying him like some elite quarterback when he's not that. He's not and will never be that. So we dropped the ball on that one. Like I said, Tua sucks, running game sucks, O-line sucks. And this is the last thing I said. 0-2, trade everybody, start over. What's the point? Tua ain't gonna get no better. Tyreek don't want to be there. Fitzpatrick is probably mad that he's back there. We can't stop a second-year quarterback with a new head coach. I would, if I was the head coach, if I was the owner, the GM of the Miami Dolphins, first thing I'm doing, I'm cutting or trading Tua. I'm trading Tyreek. I am trading Fitzpatrick. I am trading or releasing everybody that is expensive. And I'm going to just start over. My first two things that I would do starting over, I'm getting on the phone with Colorado. I'm calling them and I'm saying, hey, what you want? What you want for Dion? How much? How much you need me to buy him out for? I'm going to go get Dion. And immediately after I call for Dion, I'm calling the Browns. What do you guys want for Shador? And then I will create what we created with Colorado and bring it to Miami. Dion already from Miami. Bring that love that you have for Colorado and bring it to Miami. The rappers, the artists, the fun. Bring that to Miami. Because for my whole life, Miami ain't really been nothing. So bring that atmosphere to the Miami Dolphins. Bring that atmosphere over there. Then, like I said, get Shador, get Dion, and then build around him. And like I said, if I was the general manager owner, I would, for the next couple years, I would have the most boring draft ever. Because I'm going to now build my team around Shador, and I'm starting with the O-line. Again, I'm going to make sure this is the worst, like, most boring draft ever, because whoever's the top tackle in football, that's what I'm bringing in the first round. The next pick will be whoever's the best right tackle, whoever's the best guard, whoever's the best center, whoever one of those, that's what I'm getting. My next pick will be whoever I didn't pick in that one. And then on the free agency, I'm picking pieces that I can plug and play that's good on the line. That I missed in the draft. When Dak Prescott was really, really good, he had a Pro Bowl left tackle, a Pro Bowl center, and a Pro Bowl right guard. That's what I would do. I'll have a boring draft. But we're going to start over and we're going to work through the trenches. Start over. I love me some Tyreek, but it's over. It's over. Next game is the 49ers and the Saints. 49ers, Mac Jones, 26 for 39, 279, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Christian McCaffrey, 13 for 55 off 4.2. Juwan Jennings, 5 for 89 and a touchdown. Ricky Prasoff, 4 for 56. Christian McCaffrey, 6 for 52 and a touchdown. And then Spencer Rattler, 25 for 34, 207, 3 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara, 21.99, 4.7. And then receiving Chris Olave, 6 for 54. Shaheed, 4 for 52. And Juwan Johnson, 49. And Rashid and Juwan each hauling a touchdown. Bailey, one catch, 3 yards, and a touchdown. My immediate reactions to this game was no Purdy, no problem. Mac Jones has a good game, and C-Mac is everywhere. You would have thought that by losing Cody, that your team would be in some type of trouble, but let's just be honest, Purdy is Mac Jones. Like, they're the same. I think maybe Purdy might be a little bit more he could run a little bit more. He's a little bit more athletic, but they're the same player. They're pretty much the same player to me. So, but with it's like, if you're a Niner fan, I just feel sorry. If you're a Niner fan, I just feel sorry for you, because this is a team where you guys have multiple windows of opportunity to win Super Bowls, and I just honestly feel like that window is closed now. You got Christian McCaffrey, who's another year older. We'll see what happens, how he finishes out the year, but has missed a couple years. Kittle injured, only doing is getting older, and at one point in time, your pass catchers were Ayuk and Debo. And Debo is injured. Debo is on another team, and Ayuk is injured. And, he's recovering and, should be ready in the mid-season, but coming off an ACL injury, and, if you're a Niner fan, you guys had that window, and it's not open anymore. And you guys almost lost to a team who a lot of people are saying is going to be picking top 5 in the draft. So take that what you will. And then with the Saints side, it's Spencer Rattler, Alvin, and Saints play better than week 1. And as a unit, they played better. Like I said, Rattler 25 for 34, 207 touchdowns against supposedly a very good defense. Congratulations. Alvin Kamara, like I said, almost 100 yards on the ground. But I mean, as the Niners, y'all should beat them. But the funny thing that I see about this whole situation is that the Saints, in a lot of people's eyes, were tanking because they wanted Archie Manning. But if you've been watching college football, Archie Manning's been playing terrible. So the whole part of you guys not picking up Shador, where honestly he should be a Saint right now, the fact that he isn't and playing for another team while you guys drafted another quarterback in the second round who was garbage is just crazy. So, like I said, if you're a Saints fan, I feel sorry for you because your whole point of tanking was to get Archie, only for Archie to play like he is garbage. And then, like I said, Niners, I feel sorry for you guys because at one point you guys were supposed to, you know what I'm saying? You guys are supposed to be. This is supposed to be the next team up was the Niners, and just injuries just keep it down. You know what I'm saying? Hour in already. I'm gonna make a part 2, and I'll probably finish it on that one. But make sure you guys follow me on all my social media, all the almighty Lair on all social media, and yeah, let's debate. Let's talk about it. Right in the comment section below how you feel about so far what I spoke about. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know on the channel, and yeah, I'm gonna make a part 2. So stay tuned.